You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Following After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Following After Show.
Well, Bing is for doing, and we are doing the following AfterBuzz show. I'm Joe Sanfelippo. I am joined by Mr. Nando Velasquez, formerly of Attack of the Show. What's up, Nando?
What is up, Mr. Sanfelippo? Glad to have you back.
Glad to be back. Had a nice vacation, kind of, sort of. We've also got Joe Braswell here from Grantland and Extra.
Mr. Joe Sanfelippo.
Nice to see you, Mr. Braswell. And we also have our Marissa, our producer, Marissa.
She is our
What's
Marissa.
up,
She's our
guys?
Marissa.
She's our Marissa.
We own her.
I'm your guys.
Huh?
She's our producer, and we're very excited to be with you this week. We're listening to Crazy because I think everyone got crazy this week. Like everyone let their freak flag fly, man. It got deep.
They get crazy every week. It's just a house full of crazies.
But didn't it seem like everybody got a little crazier this week? Like Jacob had a little crazy. Mike Weston had some full blown crazy.
Mike Crescent, full-blown
Mike
crazy.
Weston, a little crazy.
And Joe had Joe had his I can't write my thing going crazy.
Claire went a little crazy. I've got 2 months.
Yeah.
You must be thirsty.
Well,
Double fisting.
One's water and one's vodka.
Excellent. And you never know which one you're gonna get.
They both taste great.
Well, let's start talking about this show. This week was well, it was a little crazy, and I missed last week, which apparently had the most epic FBI WTF in the history of the universe.
Yeah,
And
the 1 week you miss.
the 1 week I miss, and there it is. But we've learned more about the FBI this
People
week.
were going
Apparently,
nuts of the FBI WTFs in the Twitterverse and YouTube comments.
it's
It's a catchphrase that's sweeping the nation.
there's literally tens of people saying it.
It's sweeping the damn
enormous.
nation.
Yes.
But I just love that we've learned about the FBI that apparently we learned it this week, confirmed that we never send backup if we're the FBI.
No.
3 people go to check something out. That's all we can do.
And they continue to do that now. They
Yeah.
still continue to do that.
Every week.
Every week.
In fact, they're a little heavy with 3 people. It's usually 1 or 2.
Yeah, usually it's just the one guy who's not an FBI agent.
Yeah.
This time,
Yeah.
So they went 3, which is actually, that Donovan was a tight ship, that guy.
he does.
Yeah,
You're not leaving. You sit down.
Right, you sit down.
You better pretend to type. Don't type something.
No tag teams, no backup.
No. This is our big lead. All right, you 3 go. The 50 of us will sit here at the tactical center.
I'm Nick Donovan.
I would like to get that job.
It sounds like a good job.
I think it's a good job. I'm sure you get medical, you get really good benefits, and you get to hang out.
All you got to do is set up the situation, and you set up the room so it looks like you're doing something important,
Yeah.
and you just pretend to type at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good.
What did you think about the week, Nando? What was your...
It was great. I loved, it's about time to see Claire try to make an escape, for one thing.
Right.
I loved what's going on with Emma. She's obviously trying to find her place in the house. You know what? It's great to see Ryan and Joe back at playing a little cat and mouse and taunting each other and both trying to have a little mental chess with each other. So that was really good. It was nice to have them back. And, of course, the return of my favorite follower, Mike Weston.
Mike Weston.
Yes, my favorite follower, the return of him.
The lead follower.
Yes.
The super duper sleeper follower.
He is so
guy.
deep under.
He is deep sleeper follower.
We will talk more about that later.
He doesn't even know how deep it is.
Yeah. I loved I love the return of the mansion. I mean, I love the pool tables back.
The return to the pool.
You
table.
love that pool table.
I
You
love
just
it
think
when the
that's
pool
the
table.
most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love when the pool table.
It not
shows
only
up.
was it a pool table, but you add a backgammon
Little
set
backgammon,
and a
little-
chess and checkers
little-
box
little
there that
checkers.
Joey had.
Listen, man, come on. What are you
It's
guys
like-
going to do all day? With stare at each other and make plans? No, we got to play some pool.
It's like the real world house in there. It's like the coolest. It's like the coolest pad on television. The second coolest pad on
This
television.
is what happens when serial killers stop being nice and
That's
start
being
being real.
real.
It's a good show. But like, the mansion's great. And first of all, there's lots of red wine. And there's things I'm learning about the mansion. Lots of games. You get backgammon. The pool table. Followers are playing a little pool table.
Yeah.
Creepy paintings, right?
Yeah, some creepy Marilyn Manson stuff on the walls.
You know, the weird like paintings they're working on and stuff on the walls already.
Did that one look like a dude was reaching his arm into somebody else's chest? That was pretty crazy.
They're very stylish in there. They've got the Eames chair. They've got like some nice paintings, going on. But the followers not they want to be comfortable. Is what I'm trying to say here.
Well, they
relax.
They had to spend two weeks. We learned in the isolation chamber.
They deserve a little R&R.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've been to the mountain. Have a seat. It's an Eames chair. That's a classic.
Lots of red wine in this house. Everyone has a glass of red wine.
Well, it looks like blood.
There's some symbolism.
There you go. Some symbolism right there.
There's no Chardonnays. No.
Who would drink white wine after killing somebody? Really? Isn't that weird?
It doesn't seem particularly strong. You got to go red.
It clashes.
All red. So I love it. But yeah, I think Joey seems to be right at home in the house too. I mean, he's a lot more comfortable with his mom there, but he's definitely still right at home. He can go from being really concerned to like, I love, Joey's a smart kid. He's not so concerned. I like the whole notion of him being like, okay, Joey, go run along and play. Grown-ups are going to talk. And he kind of runs off and plays checkers in the following Carroll Claire house. It's just Joey's right at home there.
Well, you're a kid. You can get used to anything. And it's not that freaky from his point of view. I mean, it's not like they're murdering anybody in front of him.
No.
But. I mean, though, would they have him killed? They had him kill. Would they have him put inside the little jar? I don't remember what that was. That was a few episodes ago.
That was a frog, I believe, right? Or
was that something small?
It was something really small. No, it was like a fly of some sort or something, right?
No,
it was an animal.
It was an animal.
It was an animal.
I don't remember what it was, but they had him kill something.
Or pretend to kill something.
Yeah, we didn't finish that. We didn't see if that was a thing.
What
but he's very comfy. Yeah, I agree with you. But I think that's part and parcel of the whole deal. I like watching Emma this week. She's she got really nothing right now. At least at the beginning of the episode, she gets a little throwdown from Joe at the end. Once Claire Claire makes it pretty clear.
Well, she got a little throwdown with Claire too.
Yeah.
Oh,
is that
arms above my head. Yes.
Is that what the? Wait a minute.
I'm sorry. That was a fight that was a long time coming. I enjoyed that tremendously.
Yes, you were very excited about that fight.
Yes. So were you. I did.
No. Someone shouted, "Kiss her." That was you.
Somebody.
I think I shouted "kiss her" after you shouted "make out." So I think that I don't know if I went further.
Oh no. It was good to see. Valerie, who's lovely.
Yeah.
Valerie Curry.
Yeah.
Valerie Curry.
Yeah. It's a great neck, that Valerie Curry.
Great neck, huh?
Yeah.
That's I've never
Yeah.
I've never been attracted to a neck before in my life.
You've never have?
Not in that way.
I think
welcome, my friend.
I've seen a lot of really good
great
necks.
neck.
I've seen a lot of good necks. I would say hers is up there. Hers is really good.
It's very willowy.
Right.
I think is the term.
Yes.
A willowy neck.
Yeah.
Shout out to Emma's neck.
Yes.
That's my next Coachella band.
Emily's neck up on the main stage.
Main stage.
Hashtag Emma's neck.
All right. What else?
Well, I really got a kick out of. I really like the kind of like the pace they had in the house this week because it really gave you. It feels like they went out of their way a little bit to kind of give you an idea of what the house was like. Which obviously every time they do that, it makes you crazy because you see the serial killers playing pool.
I think it's fun.
But I liked the Roderick and Claire scene. I liked just that kind of like moment where Roderick's just come off his verbal beatdown from Joe.
Right.
And he's been I believe wrapped in he got punched in the nose, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Claire's kind of what's your deal, man? You seem normal. What are you doing here? And he's like, I think the way he put it is it's a safe place where I have no shame for being who I am. And that was pretty cool, like she was where Claire was trying to figure out what's the point here. I enjoyed that. I think that gave us a little insight, There's a customer out there for everybody's crazy.
Yeah, there is.
There's somebody,
there's a customer for everyone's crazy.
Seriously, there's somebody out there willing to buy your crazy. You just have to find that customer.
That's right. That's the words to live by.
Joe found him.
Something my grandfather would say. Words to live by.
You can write that down if you want.
We record customer for everyone's crazy.
That's it.
I love that we get the real, more sort of backstory to Ryan too, with the dad.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll talk about it a little later. But that was really cool.
That Spider-Man, the Spider-Man.
It was very
origin
Spidey.
story.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I'm like, it's very Uncle Ben, Spidey
Peter
Man,
Parker,
or Thomas Wayne, Batman. It's it's the whole thing there. But I love to see it. Although I will say, that kid they got to play Kevin Bacon, who's a good-looking kid. It looks a lot like Bacon, the 1983 Bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon in '83. '82 was Diner. '84 was Footloose. That kid didn't look. That kid was a lot. Kevin Bacon was a lot better looking, a lot cooler.
Well,
than that kid.
Don't be all screwed up, kid. Don't go kill yourself. I mean, that's just Joe Braswell.
Kid, you're a fine actor, and you look.
You did a good job,
and you're playing a young Kevin Bacon. But
But,
know,
but
that
only
kid wasn't-
one young Kevin Bacon. It's young Kevin Bacon.
Wow, you're so critical about that.
I'm just saying that kid wasn't gonna go dancing through the barn.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Was he?
He wasn't gonna do it. But he did a good job, and I
did.
liked.
He did
And
a
I
swell
liked
job.
at the end with the overdose scene. I enjoyed that. I think he did a good job with that,
It's a good job.
and I was pretty happy about that. I enjoyed that too.
At least we know Bacon was in Diner in '82. He was overdosing and killing killers.
Random dude in '83, and in
then boom,
'84 he moved to a
Footloose.
small town in the South where they couldn't dance, and
He's
he
busy.
rescued the town.
He's a busy guy.
Well, and he was in college in what, 78? Animal House?
Oh,
Is that
yes.
78?
That's right.
Something like that.
70. Yeah, that's pretty good. 79.
If we find out our years are all off, we're gonna be so embarrassed. People are gonna be like monkeys.
I'm never ever wrong. So what do we got?
All right. Speaking of Kevin Bacon and being as fit as Kevin Bacon was in 1980, it doesn't matter. Pick your poison.
Footloose.
Stop wasting your time and money on schooling that leaves you broke and jobless. The National Academy of Sports Medicine guarantees you will land a job within 90 days of earning your personal trainer certification. These guys do personal trainer certification, and they're the best. That's a job within 90 days of becoming CPT certified, guaranteed, or your money back. But you have to visit usatrainer.com today. The fitness industry is booming, and there's a huge demand for certified personal trainers. You can earn a ton of money. They're talking six-figure money. You can set your own hours. There's always work, and you're basically getting paid to stay in shape. Have you ever seen a personal trainer that is fat? No. Who knows? You might even become my personal trainer. That's probably not accurate. I don't have a personal trainer, but I did spend a week on vacation, and I feel fattened up, so I got to get it together. Certified personal trainers work with some of the top athletes and A-list celebrities from around the world, and they are the reason that they're in such good shape today. Visit usatrainer.com today and get started with your free 14-day sneak peek of our fast, fun, easy online program. You get 14 days free toward your CPT certification and a potential six-figure income at usatrainer.com. That is usatrainer.com. Once again, check out usatrainer.com. They'll get you certified, and you'll have a job within 90 days.
Hold on. Stop the show. That was a fine live read.
Wow.
That was outstanding.
That was a master class.
That was a master. That's the way you do a live read up in this mug.
Now, are you being sarcastic?
No, that was
You have
great.
better-
I can do that in 10 takes. I couldn't do that read.
That was good.
Right?
Yeah.
Nando,
I
give
like
me
that.
a clipped. That's all right.
All right. This is the one time I'm giving any kind of big
You
ups
sure?
compliment.
You're going to keep it.
Yes.
I
I'll
thought
take
it
it.
was really good. I said it was master class.
Yeah, it was very good.
Now, listen, you guys are all welcome.
Do you want me to really be excited?
No, I don't want you to be really excited.
Oh my God, Joe.
The people at USA Trainers should be really excited.
That's a good read.
Those are the people.
Now
that
I'm
should be
excited
happy.
that you mentioned that again.
That's a clean compliment from Joe Braswell to Joe Flippo. That's a nice read.
Marissa, would you write this, or at least note it in the log? We
It
keep a
is.
very
It's
extensive
noted.
log.
Okay.
You could have probably hit
12
a ton
minutes
of
in.
money a little harder. But other than that, it was
A
awesome.
ton of money.
Let's get back to this.
All right, let's get deeper now. I want to find out, Nando, what leapt out at you this week? What grabbed you and shook you to your core?
Well, I got to bring up my main guy,
Mike Weston.
Mike Weston.
Oh, yeah.
The
Mr.
return
Follower.
of Mike, but he's a meaner. He's a badder.
Oh,
he's new and improved.
He's very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a world
Yeah.
where
In a world where an FBI agent has been beaten within an inch of his life.
Yeah.
Boy, he
Yeah,
came
Weston.
out.
he really came out. I mean, it was awesome to see him back. Nice little reference to Fight Club, because pretty much he was in a Fight Club
Sure.
there with a la Brad Pitt style.
Yeah.
And he took charge. He was pissed off. He was on a mission. He in a scene reminiscent to, I think it was episode 2 or 3, when Ryan and Mike were going into a house and Ryan was barging in.
Yeah.
He did the exact thing Ryan did. He said this was
Ooh,
I
mirror.
thought this was Ryan Hardy approved. Remember, and then Deborah's
He
there
popped
says,
a knife and he,
I blame that on you. Yeah, exactly. So, and here he is kicking butt. And when Ryan was up against the Brian Fowler, the guy who owned the house, or his parents owned the house, Weston came in and just started beating the hell out of him. Yeah, boom, badass, completely different. We did not expect to see this out of Mike Weston in the past.
No.
He seemed a lot more timid. He seemed more like a student to Ryan, and now here he is being a badass.
Well, I will say he has the same. He's always had this level of enthusiasm about his job. I think that he's always been very enthusiastic and very sort of seemingly wide-eyed and very happy to be there. But he did attack his job with a bunch of zeal and enthusiasm. He's still doing that. It's just that it comes from a different place.
Yeah.
Before it came from a place of like genuine, like, I'm happy to be with Hardy. I'm gonna do a great job. He strikes me as the kind of guy who is and knows he's smarter than everyone in terms of like a kind of a whiz kid, but just wants to underplay it and do his thing. Now he's driven by that same enthusiasm is driven by like, I hate these people. I am, I almost died. I'm gonna beat the crap out of all of them. I don't give a crap what I have to do. I don't give a shit what I have to do.
I don't know there's got to be a helplessness that's got to come along with that kind of scene where you're like captured. Like, I think that there's one thing to get beat up or lose a fight, but it's another thing to be in a total position of helplessness. And I think that psychologically, I would imagine the combination does more damage than just being beat up. I mean, you get beat up, you get beat up.
Well, he was he was stabbed. He was like. He was not.
Yeah, but I mean, like
that whole
thing though, that they had him, they had him, like they had him completely at their under their control.
Right.
So I think that but between the two, you've got not just the beatdown, but the complete give up your personal control of yourself.
Well, I will add a but to all of this because I
right,
of course I still feel that the red flags are back up.
Yeah.
Well, look at look at it this way. First of all.
HWG.
When he was identifying Roderick, he identified him, and Ryan said, according to his assessment, this guy's a military brat. And Roderick already said in an earlier episode that he came from a family of law enforcement. So did Mike Weston. Just putting it out there. They both have that similarity together. Also, there was that little episode where Ryan was talking with Mike, and Mike started saying, "You sounded like my dad." And then Ryan said something like, "You don't have to do all this. Now, you're really messing with me. You know my dad, right?" Something like that.
Listen, you must really know my dad.
So he has daddy issues, and he's a military brat. So
that clearly equals follower.
It clearly equals follower. Can't you see the writing on the wall?
Can you go with this?
Right. Well,
military dad versus.
Well, let's look at this. Let's look at it this way. Emma didn't have a dad, so Joe ended up being kind of like a father to her. Although now he's a lot more than a father with her than her at the end of this episode for sure.
Hey,
Jacob.
She might have called him dad.
Jacob seemed to have problems with his dad. Guess what? Ryan Hardy has problems with his dad. With his dad's death, he's dealing with his dad's death. Apparently, that affected him. This was almost his origin story, kind of like Spider-Man. His origin story about his dad dying and how it affected him. There was a lot of daddy issues here, and look how it's messed everybody up. We still don't know a lot about Mike Weston. That's all I'm trying to say. We still don't know a lot. And come on, he's in the same room with Joe Carroll, and he doesn't die. Neither him nor Deborah die. How convenient is that? That everyone escapes and nobody dies.
I say this with love. You are crazy.
He's. I gotta say, the guy's making a little sense here.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I'm switching somebody over. Somebody's turning with me.
I'm not. He hasn't turned me yet.
You guys. By the end of this, Nando's going to convince you water's not wet anymore.
I'm just saying.
Joe, you're not listening. Nothing about this water's wet.
He
dripping, I feel.
No, he hasn't turned me, but the man makes some strong points.
All right.
A lot of these people have a hole in their life, and they need a father figure.
Right.
And I'm just noting that Mike Weston seems to be one of those people
I understand what you're saying. In response to what you're saying, giving it all the credence that I can with a straight face, I will say that I think that that Ryan Hardy maybe has been assigned the role of filling that father figure for Mike Weston.
Okay.
And given the way that he handled him in the ambulance afterwards, I thought it was very gentle, and just reminding him you can't go too far with something, And so that scene, you had that action in that scene was that father son action right there, mentor and mentoree. I don't know what the term is on mentor there.
You're doing fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then the other part of that, obviously the other action that scene is revealing something about Ryan. We obviously don't do something you can't undo. And then we get to see him, give give the hot shot to the kid.
It's interesting to see that too, because right before that, Joe was saying how they both were not very, very similar, and I kind of see that they both are affected by death. We don't know Joe's backstory as much, but when he was saying what fuels you, death. And they both are fueled by death, but it seems more like Ryan's trying to save people, and they just is surrounded by death. Whereas Joe has that I can never say this word
monomaniacal
means to kill. That's what drives him. So it seems like an opposite side of the coin, but then all of a sudden you see that Ryan actually killed
Yeah, he killed the
killed
junkie.
his dad's. Yeah, he killed his dad's killer.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting is he didn't tell Joe that, and he didn't let Joe know that. So he's keeping that from Joe, which I think is kind of like a little bit of defiance there. I'm going to play your game, but I'm not going to.
You're an FBI. You're an FBI agent. Are you really going to tell people? By the way, I kind of killed my dad's killer. Right. That's a real big FD. That's a real WTF right there.
That wasn't so much a suicide. I'm just saying.
In the entrance exam with the background screen.
You ever kill a junkie? Just a question.
Yes, they'll let me in because I'm.
But yeah, that was cool though. I really. I think though for Mike Weston, I think that's Ryan Hardy's deal with him. I think that's their kind of like their juxtaposition right now.
Yeah.
And their what you call it all through that episode, though, every time Weston did something out of line that was crazy, they went right to Ryan, and Ryan just kept the same. Kevin Bacon kept doing the same thing. Oh no, don't do that.
It was
it was exactly what he did, 3 episodes ago.
It was a nice little switch, and it's also interesting to see that while Weston was being crazy and Weston was getting all gung ho, on the other side, Jacob was doing the exact same thing. They were both very, very similar. I know I made a prediction earlier that I thought maybe they were even brothers. But it was just interesting to see that they're both very, very similar. Jacob's got his dark side, and Weston right now has his dark side. Although both of them, by the end of the episode, Weston starts realizing, wow, maybe I'm taking this too far. And you saw Jacob seeing that news report about him with his dad start thinking a little bit, and it almost looks like he wants to go back to the old Tag Romney.
Well, we got the final confirmation of Jacob's full backstory, and he turns out he is Tag Romney. They kept saying
very similar background.
Privilege comes from a very privileged family, lived a privileged life.
One of our commenters, by the way, is asking, who the hell is Tag Romney? Maybe we should explain that.
There was a man named Mitt Romney who ran for president of the United States.
He did.
It was, in fairness to Americans, several months ago, so there's no reason we should remember it.
But this is this might be an international person.
Be. So I'll take the condescension out of my voice. And then Mitt has 5 sons. One of them's name is Tag. And
I thought they're all named Tag, actually.
They're Tag and Pip and Yip, and then they're Scooter. And yeah. So anyway, Joe thinks that Tag Romney is one of the best names in the world, and it refers now to anyone who is a total.
No. Mitt Romney's 5 sons are a bunch of 5 good-looking, clean-cut boys,
guys that you would see in the J. Crew catalog.
Yeah. They
wearing chinos and sweaters.
Sweaters, sensible
collared
slacks,
shirts,
nice polo shirts,
absolutely
deep parts.
Very part starts on the ear and goes over.
So that's my reference there.
One of the things about Ryan and Mike I think is worth pointing out is that Ryan, I think we get it now why, but he sees himself, I think, as unsavable, and I think that's because he killed the guy who killed his dad, and I don't think we ever got that until this week. I mean, before you were kind of like, and Joe alludes to it this whole episode, like what is it? What drives you? What is your deal? And I think we get to see it. Obviously, Joe doesn't, but. I think that he doesn't view himself as savable, but he views Mike as savable. So,
could be.
So, like, I can do this stupid stuff because I'm, my soul's already blackened and charred up because I killed this guy in cold blood.
Right.
But you haven't done that. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's very good.
It's a very good point.
I like that.
Joe, tell me, Joe.
Wait.
No. He had a question.
I had to say one more question.
I apologize.
Yeah. Question.
What's the question, Joe?
Weston.
Weston, yes.
No, so how much time has passed? Because it feels a little soon for him to be back to work, doesn't it?
Well,
the dude was just
in the real world right now. It's 3 weeks, but
I don't know because he was just like in the like on
I will
life
say
support in the hospital.
You're right. He was on life support in the hospital, and he seemed to be near death. And
I mean, active duty in the field, leading the charge.
In real world, I think it would take about 3 weeks, approximately, at least, for someone to maybe get a desk job. Not even to just go barging in.
He's running point on a
In fairness to everyone, none of us are doctors, so we have no way to actually, we're not allowed to.
I don't know the contusion that was on the lower rib cage.
It was anterior.
Thanks, Doc.
Suspension of disbelief once again. Maybe an FBI WTF for bringing him out there too soon, especially before a psych eval, apparently.
Yeah.
But.
Right. On the other hand, we are running up against shooting schedules, I would imagine, for X-Men. So I mean, there are always practical considerations to be dealt with here.
Look, if he's going to turn, he's got to be out in the field.
Right?
Come on, he's got to be out in the field now.
We lose Sean in 3 months. Get him out. Get him out.
Can't turn if you're not playing, right?
Right.
Exactly.
I I really love the ladies in this one. I loved the Emma, Claire, and Parker. I want to first Parker. I think I just want to briefly touch on Agent Parker. How when they were going through and turning over the armory, she had another moment of zeal. Her normal moment of sort of like, come look at this, Ryan. Isn't this great? Like she was really excited about everything. It's a whole training area. There's a deprivation thing down here.
She was excited.
She was a little excited about the whole thing, which is cool. I did like
Carollism.
You know, she was very. So I was very. Yeah, I loved everything about the whole thing.
Incidentally, I did say that fans of the show should be called carolers. I said that weeks ago. I didn't say that on the show, but I did say that weeks ago. I thought that'd be funny.
We could give a whole new meaning to door-to-door caroling. It would all kind of.
But yeah, it's sort of a deep. You know, I couldn't tell really if we're getting more and more into that Agent Parker character and sort of what motivates her. But she gets really, really excited to talk about the paintings in the wall and the religious ties. Yeah. And she dropped a Scientology reference in there too.
Yeah.
Nothing to say on that, Joe?
I work in Los Angeles. I don't want anybody's religion. I respectfully refuse to answer the question.
Scientologies. So that happened.
They have buildings.
But Claire, I did, back to Claire and Emma. We did see Claire try to escape. We've seen Claire sort of navigate her way through the house. As we earlier on, we talked about, figuring out ways to give Claire something to do, because for a while she was just kind of in the house waiting, pining for Joey. Like, how are we going to get her involved? So now she's in the following the mansion, but she still sort of seems like, I want to give her more. She seems to be, what am I trying to say? She seems to be, as a character, I'm not exactly sure where she's going and what will be, what's going to happen to her. Although I do like how, and I'm going to contradict myself right now, I do like how she seems to be, getting more information about the plan. She's talking to Roderick. She's kind of working Roderick a little bit.
She's read the book.
Well, she's working Roderick clearly, they can't trust Carroll, and what's your deal, and working him, and then going back and kind of working Joe, and so we'll see. I don't know.
And she's read the book.
She's read the book.
So she knows what the plan is. She said your plan's not going to work, which means she is ahead of the Joe Carroll plan.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this, and this is something I think that they're doing with her that I really enjoy. She's taking back her power. Like that fight with her and Emma.
Yeah.
That was bitching.
Well, that was my thing. So I want to get to that too. Her and Emma fight. Well, Emma, before the fight, the exchange was great.
Yeah. Emma's crazy. I didn't appreciate how crazy
Emma got super cray.
Wow.
Super cray in that. She was good. Valerie Curry was doing the damn thing in that performance as well. But just the way she looked at her,
like
the smile,
real family.
Yeah, the brow was up.
Nuts? That was awesome.
The apology. And then finally, when she said, that moment when it turned, when she came out and she stormed outside, Emma and Claire stormed outside and said, "No, I meant it. You stay away from Joey."
I don't need any time to think about this. What are you nuts?
Her reaction was like, "Oh, yeah, really? You think you're in control? You think that's your choice?" I love the way she played that.
Yeah.
Even earlier, her line of like, "Too soon, too soon."
But I like it though from Claire's point of view because there's nothing to lose. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I'm going to get captured by my ex-husband's crazies. All right, that's done.
Yeah.
So screw it, go after her, and she did. And
she punched her.
I was amazed that that Emma punched her back.
Oh yeah,
punched her back.
Especially after Jacob said, "I'm not allowed to bruise your face," and Emma just went for it.
But I think her situation is more precarious, it seems to me, than Claire's.
Yeah. Well, don't sleep on Emma. We saw Emma earlier in the first 3 episodes about Emma being a badass, running shit, being a badass, bossing around, Jacob and Paul, like having what it takes to be done. And now we've seen this new Emma who's been confused and maybe quiet, and then this is a return of Emma. Like, oh no, I'm Emma. Like I will whoop your ass. So don't mess with me. So I like to see that. So. And then, of course, there was the choking scene, and she went for the neck, the beautiful neck, and then Joe got excited. Flippo that is.
I don't think that's fair to say. You screamed "make out."
You screamed "kiss her."
After you screamed "make out," I'm just saying. I try to dial it back.
You
Things
two
were getting
just
crazy.
kiss each other and get it over with.
No,
right?
I don't think that's in the cards. He doesn't have as nice a neck.
Come here. But yeah, good old-fashioned cat fight.
Well,
that's it.
I like that Claire's taking back her power with Joe, though. I think that she does some cool stuff with Joe that I just like that Joe's not special to Claire.
Right.
Like, and I always like when actors can really portray what was clearly a long marriage. Like, I
Right.
think that adds credibility to everything. And you really felt that in that last scene where he brings in the wine and he's like excited to tell her about his day. Like, he's like, things were crazy. Let's talk about it. She's like, I can't do this. This is ridiculous.
I mean, he's got the turtleneck and the two
yeah,
glasses of
he's
wine.
like, hey.
He leans in. Hey.
She's like, no, man. And she
Are you
just,
still awake? Oh, long day.
long day. Let's talk about it.
Here's some Merlot.
She's like, I can't do this. I can't keep pretending to do this. This is insane.
It's pretty ridiculous.
You know, and it was great. The scene was, and like everybody else is like, Joe's up here on this mountain and he's this genius, and she's like,
Yeah.
your plan is stupid. This is never gonna work. What are you doing? And his
Right.
face fell.
Yeah, he's genuinely seemed a little.
It's like, what? No, it's not. You shouldn't have read it. It wasn't done. Like he
Yeah.
was, like messed up.
Right.
Oh.
But that's the way to get at him.
Yeah.
The book.
Well, we
Yeah.
see,
He's gotten
that's his
rattled.
vulnerability.
That's his vulnerability.
because we saw Ryan do it earlier.
Yeah.
When Ryan said, "What's wrong, Joe? What's wrong? What's wrong?"
Exactly.
You know, and but Ryan did get to him when he mentioned that they'd gotten the armory.
Yeah.
So we're seeing Joe, in Ryan's word, we're seeing Joe unravel a bit, but he always seems so in control. I mean, the other irony here, and I'm not going to step on your Joe thing, but the thing about Joe is he seems so completely in control of the entire situation when he was in the cell. When he's in the cell, no one was more in control of
Except when Jordy was alive.
right.
Then he got rattled a little bit.
But he's really in control of the situation. Now that he's sort of out and free and the followers are there, you mentioned that he looked nervous when he saw the followers. Now that he's out and free and sort of running things, he seems a bit off his game, which you would think would be the opposite.
I really like what you said though about the book, and I really think that like the book being his vulnerability, and I think it's ironic that he can plan all this stuff in real life and come up with all this intricate stuff, but when it comes time to write a book that he as a literature professor would value, he's not able to do that.
Right.
And that's what's screwing him up. And I just think that that's so ironic. Like, he's able to do it in real life, but what he really needs to do is be able to write it. And if he can write it, then he'll have value, not just as a serial killer, but he'll have value as a writer, which is what he valued his whole career.
Right.
And he's not able to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the armory bothered him, but more peripherally. I think what really got him is the writer's block.
Yeah.
Like, he can't, he can't execute that.
Yeah, it's like the one thing besides killing people, the one thing he does well,
Right, or he's decided that he does well.
He thinks he does well.
And this, you have this a lot with whatever profession it is, especially like this is the lament of like critics, movie critics who sit and criticize and write long reviews of movies, but obviously would not be able
Can't
to
turn
direct
around
anything,
and create a narrative.
or these actors who talk about folks like, that was the worst performance I've ever seen, but could not even come close to doing that.
Right, and they get on camera and they're it's ironic.
Here's
in this
a professor who spends his whole life talking and critiquing the great literature, specifically Poe. When it's time to do his masterpiece, he has writer's block, which is a bit of performance anxiety.
I love it. I think that's neat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So the chicks, Emma. I think Emma's great. It's great to see her return.
Emma was hot.
Claire is. I'm still kind of concerned about what she's doing, but it's always great to see Natalie Z do her thing, and she is taking the power back. It's a good point. And Agent Parker. The one thing about Parker and back in the house was, why didn't they kill her? I don't understand.
Again, both of them stayed alive.
Yeah, I mean, there's that whole we're gonna push her away. You had her. First of all, you get her and you knock her out.
Yeah.
And then these cold. You slit my guy's throat. You slit the guy's throat. Quickly. Jacob did, but then knock out Parker. And then you use Parker because maybe presumably
You need to get out. You need a hostage, maybe.
But then you take her downstairs and you have her. You have Hardy, you have Weston, and you have Parker. There's two of them. There's 3 FBI agents. They're gonna leave 3 FBI agents to chase 2 guys.
And Weston is begging Ryan to just let him die.
Right. And then just shove Parker and run.
Well,
that move is from that 5th grade.
No, that's like straight like 1970s cop show.
Go.
And then the music comes out. They start running in the 9-inch heels they're all wearing. But that scene bothered me tremendously. Like, I don't understand why someone didn't get shot in the leg.
Yeah.
Why they didn't knock somebody over the head. I mean, at least sell me something. Let me believe that they had a chance.
Mike got some fingernails.
No, I'm not worried about Mike. Mike made sense. But I'm talking about Parker and Ryan.
Yeah.
Why Parker didn't get shot in the leg or Ryan get beat
I'm
over
gonna
the head?
presume. I'm going to assume or presume that they want Ryan alive. Ryan never seems to die because they want to toy with Ryan. Parker is expendable in the situation for me. Weston is already in the other room, the bulletproof room. Parker is expendable. They could shoot Parker and then run and have them, be dealing with Parker. But instead they shove her. I don't know. So that got me either.
Especially since they're all over they seem to be following them every single week. They seem to be getting closer and closer. So
Right.
why not maim one of them at the very least?
That got me just my thing.
But I will say this: Deborah was with Jacob, and Weston was with Joe. I don't think Jacob would know enough about other people. If one of those two was a follower, I'm just saying, I don't think Jacob would know who's a follower, who's not. So him
Right.
pushing Deborah was strictly maybe a reversion to back to Tag Romney. Like, maybe I won't kill you after all.
Right.
And Joe not killing Mike, though, could be Mike is kind of an accomplice. He let me kill what's that guy's name, Danny, and let me tie him up and play victim, play hostage.
Right.
While I did this, I might need him again, so I'm gonna run.
It just
out.
got me suspicious as to back on your train that Parker may be in on it, or
I'm swaying him. I'm swaying him.
Yeah, it's a little
bit.
suspicious.
All right.
Let me ask you guys this.
Yes.
I think maybe we're viewing this all wrong. I mean, we're viewing this through this logical prism where people are doing logical things for a logical end game.
Yeah.
That is not what is happening here. We do have lunatic people doing lunatic things for lunatic purposes.
Sure.
And they've kind of codified it.
Joe Carroll leaving the house, for instance.
Lunatic.
Yeah, it was
straight
really
up
dumb. That was
Captain Kirk
crazy.
and Spock action from 1964. Remember that?
Only the captain and the first science officer can beam down.
There's no
and
other
handle.
people that could possibly check
I'm in
this
charge
out.
of
Where was
120
number one? Where was number one to stop him from going there?
I was in charge of 327 people on the Enterprise.
So I'm going to go ahead and hop down here.
But me as a captain has to go down and check this out.
Check off, you're in charge. Okay, all right, I'm out. Every week. I mean, that's the same thing we got going here. I'm going to kill him. Why? Roderick, you're a mess. Okay, but what the hell? But I think we're all viewing this through this logical lens, which would make sense if it was a caper show, if there was like a caper coming.
Yeah.
Does anybody say caper anymore?
No, not
I don't think so.
Just you.
Caper.
Yeah, anyway, I'll bring it back. So, probably not. So if there was like a big...
Caper, see?
It's a caper. Yes. Yeah. I'll bring my Tommy gun. So if there was a caper to be had, if we were all going to break into the vault at the bank...
Stop saying caper.
You're dating yourself older and older. You're going deeper and deeper.
Listen, and here's the thing:
not-
I was nowhere near able to see Caper live on live TV. There was, I'm about 30 years too young for that. But maybe 50. I don't know.
I don't know what you are.
I don't know. Anyway,
Anymore.
Caper. I'm gonna go with. I'm sticking with it.
Okay, got
But
it.
there's no Caper. This is the whole thing is a totally different animal. There's no overarching Italian job. What do you want to call it?
Caper?
Caper.
Okay,
It's a
so-
caper.
well,
Okay.
we don't know that there's not a caper because we have all of the
I-
explosives and we have all the what's wrong? You got me saying caper?
You said Caper too.
Well, no, I'm
When you
with
say it, it sounds silly.
No, well, oh.
Boy.
But there's
See?
All right. Come on, we're digressing.
you lost me. All right. I want to talk about. Is it my turn?
Caper.
All right. I want to talk about Roderick and Joe
Yes.
because this dynamic is. I predicted it was going to get crazy, and it's
Yes.
getting crazy. And again, I think that kind of ties into what we're talking about because we're viewing this almost through the lens that Roderick, I'm assuming, is viewing it through,
Right.
which is logical. Like
Right.
we have it. Can we get started, Joe? Remember, he's like
Yeah.
you said that
Anxious to get started.
right? You said that once we got your family back together, we're going to get started. Family's back together. Let's get started. And Joe's like, I'm in charge, and I'm going to do it when I'm ready to do it. We don't know what they're doing, but we know it involves chemicals, right? The crazy guy
Yep.
went to pick up from Bondage Girlfriend.
Yep.
From Haley Mercury, I think her name was.
Is that her
Uh,
name?
Mercury. Yeah,
Something like that.
something like that. Mercury was the last name.
I said red.
Oh,
And she said red like a maniac.
She said red.
And no love.
bummer.
Yeah.
But so we know there's chemicals involved in whatever it is, and we know that we got all this stuff in the what you call it in the armory.
Right.
So there is there is a caper. So if something's going on, but Joe's obviously in no rush to take care of it. Roderick seems to me like he's the guy who's got a little bit of a tweak in him, like he likes to kill people.
Right.
But he also has he's into this plan, whatever this thing is that we don't know about. But Joe, I don't think cares. I think Joe's overarching plan is the book. And I don't know, Joe this week
well,
was,
the plan's in the book.
The plan's
so-
in the book, but it is the book. Yeah.
yeah. Or maybe Joe's wigging out. Maybe the plan isn't ready, and it's supposed to be ready, and he's right at this point.
Well, he said he has a
running
problem with the hero arc, so you have to figure out what does that mean in relation to his plan in the book.
That is the question.
That's the question.
I enjoyed very much Joe this week. I enjoyed seeing a lunatic with writer's block. That was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
And I like that for that opening phone call when he calls Ryan and he's like I need to talk this out. You know, and like, wait a minute, man. You don't get to just call me because you got writer's block. No, you don't understand.
Right.
This is a mess. What drives you, man? What's going on in there? And it was smooth. And you know, you've all had those calls from your friends, or they're trying to figure something out, and they're like trying to get you to agree to something, and they're like, so they're fishing a little bit. That was really that was neat. But you saw him. The unraveling, I think, is not so much from anything but that book. That's the vibe I get anyway.
Well, the plan's in the book, so you know.
So the plan is in the book,
Right.
and that's what Claire says isn't going to happen, right? It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. That's what she said.
Okay, so we think that maybe Joe's not as tweaked about the content of the. I'm sorry, not as tweaked about the style, because it seemed to me like he was kept typing over and over again. Different. He needed different verbiage. He wasn't happy with the way it was coming out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Do you think it's? I got the vibe it was a literary professor who was trying to put something down on paper, and he wasn't happy with the way it was.
Well, you have to think. The only thing I could think of is we've seen earlier in the season that Joe was trying to cement the love story, or Joe was trying to get the hero back because he was such a flawed character in the beginning when he was an alcoholic, hanging out in his apartment, pretty much doing nothing.
Right.
So I guess he's trying to find Ryan's motivation to continue, or something. Again, what drives him? So the only question really is how to get Ryan into his end game. That's the only thing I can think of when I'm thinking about what he's trying to do with his book and how he's working Ryan storyline, the hero arc into the storyline.
Right, but I think what's maybe that was a device, because maybe I'm getting caught up in the device, which was kept changing the words of a particular sentence.
Yeah, I saw that too. The death.
Right.
What is it? Death plagues Ryan.
Plagues Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan.
right.
Whatever. He kept playing with that idea, but he kept changing the verbiage. And so I guess I'm thinking he's not changing the overall arc, so he's not changing the event, whatever the event's going to be, but he's changing the way he's writing it.
Well, he hit it. I mean, I think he hit it. I think he's searching for what that was, and I think he hit it in that standoff in the house when she said we're alike because we both need.
Death fuels us.
Death fuels us. I think that was his sort of writer's epiphany there. Like, oh, that's what I've been trying to get at.
It's almost kind of like the Luke, I am your father kind of moment,
Right.
almost a little bit in
And
a way.
that was a cool moment, actually. I was like, oh yeah. And I think that I felt that was his, as what he's struggling to get through on that particular passage or whatever that arc is in the book. That was his breakthrough. I don't know.
That's what he needed.
Yeah, and I feel like. I don't know that I'm not saying that's why he went out of the house and did do things himself and Captain Kirk did, but I think that his reason, but whatever it was, he found it there, and I think that was kind of a cool line.
Now, see, that didn't make sense to me until later on when we found out that Ryan killed the what you call it, the junkie.
Now, I have a question for you. Does Joe know that?
No, I don't think Joe does.
Well, I mean, keep in mind because we didn't touch on our girl, the nurse.
We haven't talked about her.
Yeah,
So
we
maybe
need to talk about Molly.
Yeah, because Molly, I mean, they're pretty close. Who knows? Maybe not that he told Molly, but I feel like Molly knows a lot of inside information here. And can I stop for a second? He's got a nurse. He's got an F buddy that's a nurse. It's actually in the nurse outfit. That's good.
Did she rock a nurse outfit? Did I?
Yeah,
say
she had that nurse. Well,
Was that a nurse outfit?
No, it was scrubs, but in my head,
Was
it
she
a nurse
scrubbing it
outfit.
up?
She had scrubs and the.
She just had the stethoscope and the blood pressure.
She had scrubs on.
In your mind, she had scrubs on. I don't know if in the show.
She had scrubs on. In my mind, she had a nurse outfit on. But
in your mind, she had a hat.
Yeah,
In my mind, she had a candy striper.
It was
outfit
cutting
on.
about here.
But in the show, it was
Got
scrubs.
it.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know why I just.
That was a great last line from her, though. Don't die on me.
Yeah. And then you said,
That's my job.
That's my job. Yeah.
"That's my job."
That was creepy last week, man. She's like, only stipulation is I get to kill him.
Yeah.
That's rough, man.
Well, we touched on that last week. She's it's scary.
That's
very scary.
This is the girl you're going to bed
So-
with, man.
But they're not only going to bed, but he's trusting his health
Right.
to her.
Right.
And she's an angel of mercy. She is known for killing, not known, but that's what we discovered in the flashback, that she kills patients who she feels deserve to die or need to die because they're in pain.
Right. So she's trying to keep them alive long enough for
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
to be able to do the damn thing. So, but so does Joe Carroll know? Does Joe Carroll know? Because he's getting at something here. He's getting at something with that. So.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know if no, I don't think so. But I think that is the missing piece to his puzzle about Ryan, would be that Ryan killed his dad's killer.
Right.
But Joe, I don't think, knows that.
Right.
I don't think Joe knows it either.
No, and
if anything, he probably got writer's block after watching the sex tape between Molly and Kevin, and now he can't perform.
Now, how many times has he watched it though? That's the question. Because and there's probably a hell of a lot more than one.
Well, he was able to perform in the kitchen.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
kitchen is for making food.
Yeah.
That is what the kitchen is for. Especially when you're living in a big Xavier mansion with a lot of other people that are going to make their food right where you are.
Guess what they have in that kitchen though? Glass red wine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sorry. I don't appreciate people screwing in the kitchen when other people are going to go make breakfast there in a couple hours. You know you're not going to clean up well enough.
Wow. Your roommates must have loved you in college. That's all I got to say.
It's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful.
Agreed.
And Joe did go
There are better places.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. When you have roommates, you have to be respectful.
All right. Yeah, and I don't know if they cordon that place out. Do the followers go to bed? Are they just playing pool in the next
Was
room?
it curfew? Yeah.
Is it like Joe's in the kitchen?
Well, maybe that's the deal. Like, hey, wherever Joe goes,
Right.
you go in another room.
That's right. If the I don't know, if the refrigerator's rocking, don't come
knocking.
if the stove is around, I got nothing. All right, so back to Ryan.
Here's what I want to talk about Joe and Roderick, because I think this is an interesting dynamic, and I think they're interesting with the women too, and I always feel like with those two, like I think it was 3 episodes ago when we had that split screen almost between when Roderick was hitting it with
Emma. With
the one that died. What's her name?
Elaine?
No,
Louise.
Roderick and Louise were getting it.
Your
and
girlfriend.
Yeah, I miss Louise.
Yeah.
She'll cut you.
She will.
So Roderick and Louise were going, and then Joe and Emma were going. Remember that split screen action?
Yeah.
I told you at the time. I think I said something effective. Like, there's something between Roderick and Joe. I mean, that's kind of a thing.
Right.
I think they've got an energy between them that's almost sexual and competitive. And then you got and then what I like what they're doing here in this episode is you've got Joe and Emma, and you've got Roderick and Emma, and you've got Claire and Roderick, and Claire and Joe.
Oh, boy.
You've had all 4 of them
We
have
need a
scenes.
chart. We need a chart.
But I mean, you have all 4 of them have
A
scenes.
bit of a Venn diagram too, because you have Joe and there's some overlapping things here.
Some circles.
Some circles.
You're drawing it down here. No one can see that.
It's a Venn diagram. So here you have. No, go ahead.
We don't have the bird's eye cam for that? No.
You don't want
Telestrator? We don't have the telestrator?
There's nothing we need to see there. There's nothing of value. Overlapping
value.
circles. He's very. Don't throw it. Don't throw it. We're in the small studio. Don't hit me.
Right there in the garbage.
Perfect.
And he missed.
He was trying to play
We
it
don't
off.
have a camera for that. Yeah.
For those of you listening on iTunes, that went right in.
Yeah, 100%.
Swish. Thank you.
So we have a scene with Roderick and Emma. We have a couple scenes with Roderick and Emma, and I think Roderick gets Emma. And I think they're kind of like had a little kinship moment there because Roderick been knocked down a peg by Joe, and Emma's been knocked down a couple pegs by Joe. So they had that little kinship when Emma was watching Claire and Joey. And then you had the scene with Roderick and Claire a little bit later on where Claire obviously is working Roderick a little bit, and Roderick is giving a good eval on Claire. I mean, he's
he
checking
is.
her out.
Shout out to Roderick, by the way, because
I know you didn't
I
like
did
him
a
at the beginning.
180 on Roderick. I was out on Roderick when he showed up. I'm like, that's Roderick. I was out.
Guy's a champion.
Out on Roderick, but now this guy every week I'm like, Roderick. He's like my favorite guy right now.
When he wrapped that dude in the nose last week,
That
that
whole
was
bit
great.
last week was great, and then this week, last week he was great. This week he's great. Roderick's my new guy. I'm sorry.
a fan.
I apologize.
What do you think about him? He keeps saying Claire's Joe's husband, and he keeps getting corrected.
Yeah, my ex-husband.
Yes.
Well, she's laying it down a little bit. She's
Her and Emma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever I
For
got to do
different
to get out of
reasons.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Emma, you're right, for different reasons. Emma's going, no, wait. Ex-husband.
Yeah.
Don't put me out to pasture. But I liked the dynamic, and I also liked the scene where Roderick was was putting the ankle bracelet on Claire's leg. And there was that line from Pulp Fiction: "There's no such thing as a foot rub that doesn't mean anything."
Right.
A foot rub always means something.
Yeah.
He's putting that on there. That he's close. He's touching her. That's intimate. And I think that there's a thing between Roderick and Claire it's not. I don't think it's ever going to come to fruition, but there's definitely going to be some tension between them, if only because Claire belongs to Joe and is untouchable.
Well, we'll see. We have some previews from next week already, so we'll see. There's Roderick. Roderick is featured prominently.
Roderick
in next
was
week's
featured
episode.
very prominently.
So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
well, things are going to come to a head because Mike has seen Roderick, and Mike was in the ambulance.
Yeah.
You know, and so he didn't see when they went over to talk to Roderick, but it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's only a matter of time.
That's a good point. Because I thought Mike asking, but they must think, do they know that Weston's alive? Maybe they think Weston's dead.
Maybe they think he's dead because
that's the only reason Roderick could show up.
That's a big hole. They're missing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time on that one.
Well, I want to jump to some news and gossip.
I think we could do that.
AfterBuzz TV News.
We're actually good.
No, you do it.
We're actually not going to we don't have much news and gossip, but we do want to talk to our we want to give some shout outs.
Let's do some news and gossip, but we don't have any news and gossip, so we're going to do shout outs.
I just wanted to hear the drop.
We don't have a graphic for shout outs.
No,
so we decide news. You guys are news and gossip.
I love
That's
the
what you
drop.
guys are. You guys are totally news and gossip. So thanks a lot. We got some people commenting on iTunes this week, which is great. And by the way, we didn't mention the usual spiel we do about iTunes, which is
right now.
Want me to do it or you want to do it?
You do it.
I'll do it right now. We love iTunes. For those of you listening, you guys are going to fight about it. I'll just jump in and do it. You do it. You do it. You do it.
After you. After you.
Thank you for all of you who are downloading us on iTunes. We really appreciate it and encourage you to continue to do so. Obviously, if you want to see us, you can see us on YouTube or you can listen to us live here on the AfterBuzz, AfterBuzzTV.com on the feed. But iTunes is where you can download the podcast and comment. And what is that? Is that judging me?
I'm just looking. I'm listening.
You can download the podcast, comment, and rate us with 5s because, as my good friend Joe Sanfelippo says, we love 5s.
We love 5s.
We love 5s.
5s
Yes,
are great.
we do.
And we got some 5s, and we got some people commenting. We had KT Gary 82, and he gave us 5. And he also thinks that Joe will end up killing Claire once she falls in love with him, and he'll do it in front of Hardy. That's his.
Wow.
That's his prediction. That's his theory. We also
Better
had.
not kill Natalie Z. That's all I got.
We also had Ashbash 080710, and then Mika L, who was the one who asked who is Tag Romney. So hopefully we answered that question for you.
Shout out
You're
to Miguel.
welcome.
Lisa Ann TN. I'm guessing that might be Tennessee. So Lisa Ann TN. And Sasaki Yori, who says that we are her, I guess it's her, 5th favorite AfterBuzz show, and she gave us 4 stars.
All right.
So,
Well,
5th.
no.
We got to move up.
Look, there's 60 shows in AfterBuzz. We're her 5th favorite. That's great.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
What are you complaining about,
If
Flippo?
I'm not your favorite, I don't want to know about that.
What-
I'm going to assume that anyone
love-
who has listened has gone, that is my new favorite show.
Wait till you hear what she wrote about Bates Motel, which is a show that all 3 of us do
Yeah.
too.
But Joe, you're my 4th favorite AfterBuzz host.
Yeah, and you're my 3rd favorite friend. So, I mean,
I made the friend cut now.
what did she say about Bates Motel?
15 years. This is what I get
Apparently,
from this
apparently,
guy.
one of us breathes funny. She knocked off 2 stars because one of us breathes funny. You weren't here. You weren't here last week, so
sure.
it wasn't
Oh,
you.
it couldn't have been me.
So it couldn't have been you. So it was one of us.
probably me.
It might have been me. I don't know. Do you think it was
all
Dua?
right.
It could have been Dua. I don't know.
it's-
But
it's
2 stars for
100%
guys.
me.
Make sure you get your breathing down right because
you can lose 2 stars.
You can lose 2 stars just like that.
Bad breathing.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we can talk about that in Bates Motel when we do that. Also, YouTube. Let me do shout outs. A lot of the usual guys that we love, and a lot of them were very disappointed in last week's show to boot. They added little comments about a lot of the FBI WTFs, and they're getting a little upset here. So we're hoping to see some
Catchphrase
stuff.
that's sweeping the nation.
Yes, it's Dave 1555, Polly Love 37, Fuchsia Flashdance, Miss Lean, Funky Fresh Tea,
Funky fresh.
Verdant Knight, and Quan Ifu. Quanifu. That's what I'm going to say. Kwanlifu. Anyway,
hey, F you.
that's a guy's name.
Quan LeFou.
Yeah, he's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
All right,
I'm
then.
just talking about Quan LeFou.
That's my man.
That didn't work out.
Shout out to Quan LeFou. I'm with you. No, shout out to all of them.
Shout out to all of them. Thank you very
No,
much.
last week was a bucket of FBI WTF. There's no question.
There's a bucket of it, like KFC.
Big, huge bucket of that's 20 pieces of FBI WTF. You can have as much as you want.
Crispy or
Crispy,
original recipe?
original, grilled. It's all mixed.
Got
it's
it.
all bad.
Okay.
And this week we'll sprinkle some capers all over that.
Oh!
Bringing it back around.
Did you
See
see
what I
that?
did there?
There's another
That
definition
was
for
impressive.
Oh!
Thank you. I'll take that.
Don't forget
I'll
to
take
tip
that
your
rim
waiters.
shot.
Yeah.
The veal is fabulous.
All right. Well, we're long.
No, let's do some predictions here.
Yeah.
Let's get these wrapped up.
Yeah.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
That one went in. Nando Velasquez, what are your predictions?
Well, it looks like Roderick's going to get caught. He's trying to make a deal. That's what I'm going to say.
Based
But
on our this tomorrow,
based on
this
those,
week on, or
based
next
on
week
those
on.
this week's on. But I feel that somebody on the FBI. I think it's about time for someone to turn. Once Joe's follower. Remember, we've been predicting that someone's going to turn or become an informant. We thought it was going to be either Mitt Romney. We tagged Romney, Jacob or Paul, and then I even said Emma a couple of weeks ago. It looks like Roderick's going to be in there now, and now's the time for someone from the FBI. Now's the time for the mole to step out.
So you think the mole's going to fill Roderick's shoes?
I think the mole is going to step out and either shut Roderick up or just change the whole game. Now that Roderick seems to be trying to make a deal.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm shaky in my prediction here because I'm really confused on our boy Jacob Tag Romney because he's went from Tag Romney to James Dean, and then he got very shout out to Nico as well for being another great acting job. But he came in, he killed someone apparently, so he's that whole thing's off. He killed the militia guy, right? Today.
Yeah.
And then he looked good with the pop collar and the trench coat, very menacing. He seems like he's in control. I thought that he would be, step up to number 2 in the organization when Roderick turns, which it seems like he's going to do. However, that scene at the end with the dad, I mean, we saw a little bit of the old Tag. He was a little teary, one to talk to his pop. I think that he may crack. I keep going back and forth. I think he may crack after all.
You think
I
so?
don't know. He's an enigma to me.
It's possible.
This Jacob.
He seems conflicted at the end of the episode, so I could see that happening.
So I don't know. That's my prediction. That wasn't a prediction. That was just something I'm positing.
Just meandering right there.
I'm positing.
Right.
I posit that.
You posting? Yes, I got you.
Posturing?
Poisting? Is it poisting?
Filibustering?
Positing.
You posited.
I'm
Posited that thing. I'm not sure what you're saying. I got you.
You
Do
deposited.
you know what positing is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was positing that Tag Romney might actually not be the number 2 guy anymore.
I got you.
That's it.
Am I good to? Is it? All right. I want to talk about Molly because I believe that there is a subplot that is going to reveal itself. I think that our girl Molly, the RN that is going to eventually get to kill Ryan, I think that she's going to be the gateway to a whole other group of followers that we don't know about. I think that we're going to find a whole other crew. And I think that once this whole thing goes sideways, because Roderick is going to drive it sideways, we're going to find a whole nother setup of people, and Molly's going to be part of that group. So that's where I'm thinking things are going to go, because this whole thing at the mansion, the Xavier Mansion, is going to go sideways pretty quick based on our previews for the next couple of weeks.
Very much so.
Our boy Roderick is not going to stand by and watch and not make a deal. Is that it? Are we good? It has been a pleasure being with you guys this week. It is so nice to be back. Once again, I am joined by Nando Velasquez. Where can we find you, Mr. Nando?
You can find me on the Twitter at Nandovel, Nandovel. Also with these 2 fabulous gentlemen on Bates Motel, and I also do Celebrity Apprentice and The Amazing Race here on AfterBuzz.
Yes.
Excellent.
I'm Joe Braswell. You can find me at Joe K. Braswell on Twitter. You can also find me at Bates Motel on Wednesdays, and The Americans with Joe Flippo, both of those on Wednesdays.
Yep.
And Grantland.com, some stuff there, and on Extra. Joe.
Excellent. I'm Joe Sanfelippo. You can find me find me on the Twitters at Joe Flippo, and I will be joining Nando Val and Joe Braswell at Bates Motel on Wednesday. And Joe and I will be doing The Following. Not The Following. I beg your pardon. The Americans on Wednesday.
And aren't you guys doing Mad
I think
Men?
we're doing Mad Men starting on Sunday.
Yes. Starting Sunday, we'll be doing Mad Men.
Which is very exciting for me because that's I love that show. That's it for us.
I love that show.
You guys have a beautiful week. We will talk to you on Monday.
Yep.
That's all I got.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.